Good evening, my esteemed colleagues and fellow faculty members. Um, Me and my co-author will present our case on Upper Beas region. We've studied the villages of Upper Beas region in depth, and we'll be talking about two villages in particular, and we'll be discussing their architectural features in depth. The topic name of our presentation is Transformation and Transition Pattern in Villages of Upper Beas region. Over to you, Arshi.
The cultural and architectural landscape of Himalayan region is unique and it is reflected in its architectural style, which can be seen in the villages of Upper Beas region. The Upper Beas region consists of the valley of River Beas, which is the main river, and the villages are located along the river side in the valleys. The cluster of the base, if we see the basic structure of the village, then it consists of one courtyard, two or three family houses, and they prefer the location which is south oriented. Basically, the southeast location is preferable, and they plan their villages and such that it is easily accessible to the water resources or to the forest area for their they collect their uh, firewoods and basically they want their location to be near the rich resource of water. This can be also seen in the planning of the Kullu and Manali. The old town of the Kullu and Manali, which initially were the uh, basic villages of the town, they prefer the orientation slope uh, at the junction of the two rivers, the main Upper Beas River and the Nala. At the junction of at the location of this at the junction of this place. In the images, we can see the cluster of the this basic cluster of this village. In the next slide. In the next slide, the map shows the three altitudes of general altitudes of the region. The mid hill, mid hill is the basic location for the development of the villages. High hill basically covers the alpine region, which is basically the forest, and the low hill settlements are for the that is very near to the water resource. So the highest population of the village, the highest populated villages are on the low hill, and the mill head are the sector scattered settlements. And it is also seen that the altitude variation is forming the caste difference. Also, the higher class prefer the uh, low hill area so that it is near to the water resource and other resource, and the low caste people prefer high altitude area.
Based on the caste
Next
system,
slide.
we also notice that several villages based on the caste system do not allow, if a village is mainly uh, formed by a high caste system, then they don't allow low caste villagers to enter the same village premises. And if they do, they apply some sort of fine or some sort of ritual is performed in terms of sheep sacrifice as a form of fine. If we look at the housing typology of the village, we find that the traditional indigenous settlement of the region and rural areas follow the nature-oriented design and site planning as well as construction style. Villages of Upper Vyas region follows Kathkuni architecture with basic vernacular materials like timber, stones, thatches, and mud. A typical cluster of the system has two or three family houses, one courtyard in between, one granary, and The houses are majorly south facing in order to maximize the heat gain during the day. And the fenestrations or the windows and openings are usually smaller in size to limit the heat release from the house. We also see that there are several typology which we can look at. If we see that the first type in which we see that there are two main houses, one for the residential, for the as which acts as a residence for the family. The second one is the stable for the cattle. In Himalayan areas, we see that cattle rearing or livestock rearing is part of their economy, and every household has some sort of livestock which enables them to engage in household economy. The second type of living, the second type of typology we see is that in the second image diagram, we see that uh, that a single household consists of two families. The ground floor consists of two bedrooms, and one family resides in one bedroom, the other one in the second one. The first floor consists of store and temple, and there's a balcony area on the ground floor which gives them the space to work on their textiles. The third typology we see is the one which is newly emerging, that consists of houses constructed in newer construction materials. We see that even though the construction material has changed, but we see that main the way that spaces are divided is still the same. We see the balcony, we see living areas, are and bedrooms are mostly upstairs, while the areas for the cattle and livestock is downstairs. We also see that the housing complex in the newer construction has a toilet constructed outside the house, which is common in this area. The third one is that we see that the house is constructed over a plinth. The plinth gives the household uh, a sort of storage area, uh, which in which the residents store their grains and pulses during the winter season.
It is observed that the villages also are not truly following the Karthuni architecture nowadays. It is only seen in the houses which are 10 to 20 years old. The newly constructed houses follow the contemporary style of brick and concrete structure. So the Kathkuni architecture with its indigenous style of Himalayas is transforming wi- with the time, and it is due to the influence of the urban areas, because in urban areas also the Kathkuni architecture is diminishing day by day.
There's also the factor of cost, which needs to be understood that even though the nature provides us with timber and stones, it has become extremely costly for people to
At the
adapt.
same time, the cost of brick and the cement bag is way cheaper than the dressing a stone, and it also the Kathkuni architecture also take time to finish a building. So it is slowly it is diminishing from the villages also. But we can recommend one thing, that the government should enforce the bylaws that all the government buildings, to preserve this Kathkuni architecture, all the government buildings should be constructed in the Kathkuni style, so that it can also be followed by the local people.
Transition with changing altitudes. Certain transition pattern is observed in villages and in general in Upper Bias Basin. We see that transition can be seen in cropping pattern, grazing land, forest cover, and also in culture and architecture. For example, the architectural style of temples changes with altitudes. Villages have small temples, but gable roof. But this transition can be seen in sacred temple of group of villages. Lower altitudes areas have single gable roof style. With higher altitudes, it changes to tower style temple, and on the highest altitude we see that multi-storied pitched roof or multi-pyramidal roof is common in temple architectural style.
This image shows the traditional settlement with the Hidimba temple at the center. In the old Manali, this was once a only village of this region, and the cultural center is the Hidimba temple. So we can see the three style roof, and in if we see the villages of the Kullu area, then it has a single gable roof. And if we see the Nagar, the villages of Nagar has a tower type temples, and it increases the tower or the gable increases with the height increases.
We also see that there's a change in eating pattern as well. We look at if we look at villages near Kullu and such, we notice that it is mainly based off of traditional food. But when we go higher up in the altitude, we see that newer cuisines are added into the mix, mainly because of the influx of tourism is high in Manali area. We also see that there is a transition in cropping pattern as well, due to the change in people's aspiration. We see there's a change from agriculture to horticulture as well. Impact of tourism in villages. Tourism is always a great source of economy for the region. After agriculture and horticulture, natural scenic beauty of the area attracts many tourists to this region, due to which in peak seasons, urban center faces huge influx of tourists, which ultimately increases the pressure on the carrying capacity of the urban areas. Villagers move to urban areas in search of work, and concept of homestays also developed on the fast pace. From the last 10 years, the tourism has become a great alternative for the economy, as it is an extra income which they can depend on other than primary source of income. But sometimes the influence of tourists have direct and indirect impact on land value as well. Land values increases due to which farmers sell their agricultural lands, increase investment in real estate, which is decreasing the fertile land and forest cover. The table shows the influence of activities related to tourism.
If we see the table which show the over construction is the resultant of the tourism, which ultimately increase the pressure on the land, which increase with which is associated with the issue of increasing disasters like deforestation, flood, cloud burst, and landslides. With the increase of the carrying capacity of a region, then it also create a pressure on the resource of the region, that is forest, and which ultimately cause the soil erosion, landslides, the disaster. All the disasters are the resultant of the high pressure of the on the region. And if we see this, it is also seen that the with the increasing in the homestays, the land value of the villages are also increasing, and the farmers want to sell their land for the investment in the real estate. That is decreasing the forest cover and the agricultural land of the area.
With increase in the population and tourism demand, need of new construction has also increased and have also created a pressure for the use of new materials. which are not indigenous but are easily available and are cheaper. They also don't need the skilled labor for the construction. So the Katkuni style needs skilled labor and is time taking as compared to new style. Hence, Katkuni architecture is also diminishing from the rural areas as well. Transition and transformation pattern. We see that transformation in small villages is occurring spatially as well as horizontally and vertically. We see that the boundary lines are exceeding and growing beyond their designated boundaries. We see that villages are encroaching forest areas and agricultural boundaries as well. And we see that increase in the built up area has also led changes in the grazing pattern of the sheep and goats, which you earlier used to go through grazing areas. Now, instead of grazing areas, we see that they are going through urban areas. Population density has also increased significantly, which increases the pressure on resources and the settlements.
If we see, the land use is also changing fast in a fast pace. In the image, we can see the river valley is surrounded by a green landscape, which is now diminishing and is converted to the mining area. This image is from the Manali to Bajra Highway, where we can see the riverbed is used as a mining along the Beas River. So if we see, the architectural style is also changing. That is from Katkuni architecture to mixed contemporary style, and now they are completely changed to the modern style of brick and concrete.
Case of Shaleen village as an eco-village. Shaleen is a village located at a height of 2100 meters above the sea in Nagar block in Kullu. Shaleen is known for its beauty. Shaleen village has been developed and selected by government of Himachal Pradesh to be developed as model eco village under model eco village scheme. Shaleen is known for its quite serene beauty, magic and charm. Uh,
In
Shaleen village,
this,
Shaleen village is surrounded by forest from all sides, and we see that in the recent years, the forest cover has been reduced significantly, and the boundary of village has increased.
if we see the images, this shows the how the government of Himachal is working on the Shaleen Village as a model of eco village. Like in before, we can see a spring which is now converted into a developed spring water, and they also engage the community for their programs. Like in the image, we can see there is a meeting with the participants of uh, with the villages, so that they incorporate the ideas of the villages in to make them favorable to work uh, for the development of the village.
Uh, in, con- uh, in order to maintain the rural style of the architecture, Uh, there are several recommendations which we'd like to give. Construction of model buildings to demonstrate new building techniques. Research and development in order to evaluate the effectiveness of these techniques and organize training programs for the professionals to increase efficiency in traditional buildings. And undertaking pilot projects for improvement and development of rural areas like Shaleen Village. which can become more or less like a model village for the other villages as well. In conclusion, we'd like to say that looking closely at the economic dependency of the people of villages, one can deduce that the community is mostly dependent on agriculture and horticulture, which means that in the coming years, we'll see that the valley will be facing with more climate changes issues. So in that case, if horticulture and agriculture cease to exist in this area and isn't possible for them to rely on them as the source of economy, we need to be prepared for other avenues as well. In that case, tourism can be looked at as a viable source of income and should be promoted as the alternate source of income.
And also, the government should take some steps to support the heritage of the region and the indigenous style of Khatkuni architecture by amending some bylaws and by enforcing such laws which support the vernacular style of this region. And one such law can be a simple step of all enforcing all government structure to be built in Khatkuni architecture, and by giving the subsidy to the construction materials, and many more need to be done to preserve the identity of the Upper Vyas region of this, especially the rural areas of the Upper Vyas region.
We also need to take a look at the overcrowded areas and redistribute the resources amongst the crowd. With the influx of tourism and tourists and marginal workers and laborers and unskilled workers, we need to take a look at the resources and boost their productivity and work along with them in terms of food security as well. In the end, we'd like to thank Iqtidar Alam sir and Ashim Manna sir for overlooking our studio.
Thank you very much.